Good day, subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Jeremy. This is the Financial Education Channel, and today we're talking about how to protect yourself in a stock market crash. If the stock market was to crash, we had a bad recession, something like that, which in order for the stock market to crash, you need a really bad recession. If all that happened, how do you make money in it? How do you protect yourself? I'm going to give you guys kind of like 7 examples on how you can make money, how you can protect yourself in a stock market crash scenario. And this video was requested by you guys a ton after yesterday's video I posted about the credit cards and the auto loans and stuff like that. Now, before I get into this, let me be very, very clear. I do not believe there's going to be a recession in 2017. I've said this 8 million times. I'm sticking by it. I have no reason to believe that. I have no reason to believe we're going to have a stock market crash this year. And as far as future out years, 2018, 2019, I haven't made my judgments for those years yet. I got to look at more data, you know, as the year progresses and things like that, guys. So I just want to make sure everyone is very clear that I'm not selling my stocks right now. I'm not going short the market or something like that. I just want to be very clear about that so there's no confusion on, because Jeremy's talking about stock market crash scenarios and stuff like that, like we're going to have one right now or something. I do not feel like that. But it's very important to know how to make money in these situations, because if I'm 27 right now, I'm going to see 3 or 4 stock market crashes if I, if I live a normal life and I invest all those years. I'm going to see at least 3 or 4 stock market crashes, another 6 to 8 stock market corrections. I'm going to see several recessions. Like, this stuff just happens. So it's important that you make money doing it. Let's talk about this, guys. Number one thing you could do is you could sell everything. You could just sell everything. Now, this one I actually don't like at all. I mean, the only thing worse than selling everything in a stock market crash scenario is if you are long everything and you have nothing else and you're just long shares. What you have is, when you have a stock market crash, a bad recession, sometimes it's hard to know where the bottom is. It's hard to time it out perfectly, like, oh, here's the bottom, so, or here's the top, so I need to sell everything now. It's hard to know that, guys. There were people selling their entire portfolios when the Dow Jones was at 7,000 points in 2009. And now we're 9 years later, and the stock market's up 3 times. We're at 21,000 points. So imagine those people selling everything thinking, oh, it's going to get worse. The Dow's going to 3,000 or 4,000. I need to get out now. Imagine the kind of money those people lost out on, guys. So the whole sell everything, unless you happen to sell perfectly right at the top, and that's hard to do, because usually at the top, everything's grand. Everybody sees everything as great. Everybody's seeing flowers. Everybody's seeing sunshine. And then all of a sudden things start getting a little worse, and then all of a sudden some bad news comes out. And sometimes the stock market predicts this stuff even beforehand. So it's really hard timing it perfectly. So selling everything, in my opinion, is not really the way to go, unless you're like a market genius and this is the top. I need to sell everything now, guys. It's really hard to time it like that. Number 2 way you can do it is you can buy short-term put options on stocks you're long. So an example of this is, let's say you have $10,000 in Apple stock. $10,000 in Apple stock. A great situation for you if you're in a stock market crash and everything's getting worse and recession and just bad news is coming out. If you still want to stay long those Apple shares because you think they're a great value and you just want to hold them, well, you could say, okay, I'm going to keep my $10,000 there. I'm going to put another $1,000 in short-term put options. I'm going to buy short-term put options. What that is that's basically placing a bet that Apple shares will continue to go down. And if they do continue to go down, they go down quite a bit, you're going to make a lot of money on those short-term put options, unless they're so far out of the money that it's like unrealistic or something like that, guys. So that's a great way of doing it. And what will happen is, okay, let's say Apple shares bounce up. That's great for your $10,000. Unfortunately, your $1,000 might become worthless, but at the same time, you protect it yourself. Now, let's say the stock did drop a bunch. Let's say it goes down 10, 15%. And now all of a sudden your short-term put options are worth twice as much. So now you got $2,000. You can sell off those short-term puts and you can buy back Apple shares at a much cheaper price. And now you have a $12,000 position in Apple instead of, or $12,000 worth of shares, we could say, instead of the 10,000 originally, and then just being down more. So you can definitely make money that way, guys. And I just kind of stick to the 10% plan. So like I said, if I had $10,000 in a stock, buy $1,000 worth of short-term put options. When I say short-term put options, I'm talking about like ones that are due out like a week or a month or 2 months from now that can, really be volatile. And when a stock market crash is happening, recession's happening, the market's just going up a little bit here, and one day it will spike, but the next day it'll drop huge, and and the next day it'll drop huge. So you can definitely make money that way. That's a phenomenal way to do it. Number 3, you can sell medium-term call options. So you have some people in the markets that might want to try to time it as far as going up. So what you can do is you can sell call options that are due out. When I say medium term, I'm talking like 6 to 12 months from now. 6 to 12 months from now. And you can sell those for way out of the money. Let's say Apple stock, you have that in this whole, let's say it's trading at $100 a share. There might be somebody that wants to buy a call option that's $120 that's due out 6 months from now. They might only pay $1 or $2 per contract for that. But you add that times 100 shares, which options all have 100 shares underlying in them, and you can make money that way, guys. And the chances it's going to spike up that much in that short of amount of time is very, very low, because everything is getting worse and worse. So the chances it's going to spike, you know, it's definitely a lower probability, but there is definitely risk, because what if all of a sudden Apple stock was to go to 150, you would lose a ton of money on that deal. So you got to definitely watch your sides, and then you can even play that. Okay, I sell long-term call options. Well, let me go ahead and buy some short-term put options just in case that stock happens to rise a ridiculous amount. And then I'm even protected on the downside. So you're protected on the upside, downside, and every side of the round, guys. I hope you're following me. If you don't know much about options, some of these option related ones might be a little difficult for you to understand. And I understand that. I have a lot of option videos on my channel. Check out those. What are options? Understanding options, things like that, guys. I got many of them. And also research on your own. Number four, you can buy precious metals. Precious metals, I'm talking really about silver and gold. Silver and gold, they usually outperform the market in a stock market crash. And usually they're safe havens. A lot of people flood into those metals whenever, you know, things are rough and things are scary. A lot of people just like to, you know, throw away stocks or throw away anything volatile and go into gold and silver. So you can definitely protect yourself by always owning. I always own some silver. I sometimes own some gold here and there, but not very often. I remember one time I was a lot in gold, and this was about, this was August of, I believe, 2015. I believe I had a substantial amount of money in gold, and it was a scary time because there was a lot of worries about China slowing down and things like that. I think it was August 2015 when this happened, and I put a lot of money in gold just because I knew it was going to be a safe place to put my money for that time being, guys. That's definitely a way you can play it. Number 5, you can keep 20% of your portfolio total in cash. This is a phenomenal thing. I used to always be invested 100%. So like if I had, you know, $100 in my portfolio, all $100 were invested. If I had $100,000, all $100,000 was invested. Every penny was always invested. Now I keep money on the sideline just in case something happens, just in case I see an opportunity. Go out and buy some shares. So if you keep, let's say you have $10,000 in your portfolio, might make sense to keep $2,000 on the side at all times. So you have $8,000 invested, $2,000 sitting on the sideline, and when that great opportunity comes around, you can take advantage of it, and you can, you know, allocate some shares for very cheap. You can do some of these things I talked about with short-term, you know, put options, selling call options, and all those kinds of things, guys. And that's a phenomenal way. You should just always keep some money sitting around for a rainy day, because guess what? Rainy days do come. They do come. Number six, you can buy short-term put options in highly volatile stocks. So if you're long a lot of stocks, right, you can just buy some put options in some of these high volatile stocks that, you know, are drastic movers in a situation like that. Buy put options in them, especially the ones that, you know, might be facing a bankruptcy. There's a lot of worries out there. You can make a phenomenal amount of money by just owning put options and then selling those for a profit. And hopefully you're making a profit. As long as the market continues to weaken in that stock, there's more and more worries about it, you can make a lot of money that way, guys. There's been people that have made millions of dollars in stock market crashes by just buying put options in all these high volatile stocks that there's very many risks out there about. And the last one, number 7, you can sell off any leisure type positions and only hold more safer companies, more need-based companies. So an example of a leisure-based company that I hold right now is Wynn Resorts. Wynn Resorts is a very expensive place to go. It's not cheap. It's not the kind of place where when times are hard and people are losing jobs that everybody's just like, oh, let me go to the, you know, the resort and casino and let me spend all this money. It's not the type of place that really does well in those type of times, right? But there's other places, like let's look at another one of my positions, Google. Like Google, would it be hurt by a recession? Maybe a little bit, but still, like just as many people are going to be using Google, and businesses still got to advertise on there, otherwise they'll lose business to another person and their situation will just get even worse. So Google is more of a needs-based company. You can say even another position I hold, Starbucks. You can say, well, Starbucks, you know, $5 lattes. Well, people need those $5 lattes like you won't believe. They need those lattes like a bodybuilder needs a steroid needle up their ass. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like a need-based thing if you're a Starbucks customer. It's not like, oh, times are hard, I can just go without my Starbucks coffee today. Like, you know, people just need that stuff. Procter & Gamble, Kimberly-Clark, Johnson & Johnson, all those type of companies are very need-based. You know, if you need a Band-Aid, you're going to go buy a box of Band-Aids. You know what I mean? So think about that, guys. And those are 7 ways you can protect yourself and or make money in the stock market. I hope you guys enjoyed. And when a stock market crash does happen, don't get too scared about it, because guess what? Now you know how to make some money doing it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. If you just came across this channel, you may want to subscribe. We talk personal finance on the channel. We talk entrepreneurship. I'm an actual business owner. I give away so many business tips. We talk the stock market more than anything. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a great day.